Have you ever pondered about what it truly means to live a good life and achieve genuine happiness? A question as old as humanity itself, yet the answer remains as elusive as ever. But perhaps we can glean some insights from the age-old philosophy of Stoicism. Emerging from the vibrant intellectual milieu of ancient Greece and Rome, Stoicism offers a unique perspective on life and happiness. It's not about grandiose gestures or monumental achievements, but rather, it's about embracing life's challenges, accepting the inevitable, and finding tranquility in the face of adversity. Stoicism teaches us that happiness isn't something that's handed to us on a silver platter. It's a state of mind, achieved through understanding, acceptance, and resilience. It's about finding peace within ourselves, regardless of the external circumstances. Join us as we delve into the history and principles of Stoicism, a philosophy that holds keys to understanding life and achieving happiness. The roots of Stoicism trace back to Athens, Greece in the early 3rd century BC. This was a time of great intellectual ferment, and among the many thinkers and teachers of the day, one stood out: Zeno of Citium. Zeno hailed from a merchant family in Citium, a small city in Cyprus. After a shipwreck left him stranded in Athens, he found solace and purpose in philosophy. Inspired by the works of Socrates, Heraclitus, and the Cynics, Zeno began to develop his own philosophical framework. This framework, which would later be known as Stoicism, centered around the pursuit of virtue and the cultivation of character. Zeno taught that we should focus on what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, and accept what is beyond it with equanimity. He believed that by aligning our will with the natural order of the universe, we could achieve a state of tranquility, or ataraxia. Zeno's teachings quickly gained popularity, attracting a diverse crowd of Athenians, from wealthy aristocrats to humble workers. He conducted his lessons in public spaces, most notably at the Stoically, or the Painted Porch. This was a colonnade adorned with beautiful murals, located in the bustling heart of Athens. It was here, amidst the hustle and bustle of the city, that Zeno and his followers would gather to discuss philosophy, ethics, and the art of living well. The name Stoicism itself is derived from this very location. Stoa is the Greek word for porch, and it is from this painted porch that Stoicism got its name. It's fascinating, isn't it? How the birth of an entire philosophical movement can be traced back to a simple porch in Athens. But Stoicism was not destined to remain confined to this porch or even to Athens. Zeno's teachings resonated with people across cultures and continents, and soon, Stoicism started to spread. Stoicism started as a philosophical movement in a small corner of Athens, but soon it would spread across the world. From Athens, Stoicism made its way to Rome, where it flourished and evolved. Stoicism's journey to Rome is a fascinating tale of philosophical migration. Once it set foot on Roman soil, it found a home among some of the most influential figures of the time. Among these noteworthy adopters were Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, each contributing to the philosophy in their unique ways. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, often known simply as Seneca, was a statesman and a dramatist, but he is best remembered as a philosopher. He was a contemporary of the infamous Emperor Nero, and his writings provide a valuable insight into the turbulent times. Seneca's letters and essays are rich with Stoic teachings, emphasizing the importance of virtue and wisdom over wealth and power. His work demonstrated how Stoicism could be applied to navigate the complex political and social landscapes of Rome. Then, there was Epictetus, an interesting figure in the Stoic narrative. Born a slave, he later gained his freedom and dedicated his life to philosophy. His teachings, as recorded by his student Arrian, place a strong emphasis on acceptance. Epictetus taught that we should strive to control our reactions to the world around us, rather than the world itself. His Stoic perspective offers a timeless lesson in resilience and emotional strength. Finally, Marcus Aurelius, Rome's philosopher-king, brought Stoicism to the very heart of the Roman Empire. His personal writings, known as Meditations, reveal a man deeply committed to Stoic principles. He saw philosophy not just as a subject to study, but as a guide for life. Marcus Aurelius navigated the challenges of leadership, war, and personal loss with the Stoic belief in the power of rational thought and moral virtue. In Rome, Stoicism found fertile ground to grow and evolve. It was embraced by emperors, slaves, and statesmen alike, proving its universal appeal. These prominent figures lived their lives in accordance with Stoic principles, and their writings have continued to inspire and guide people throughout the centuries. Stoicism became more than a philosophy in Rome, it became a way of life. So, what exactly is Stoicism all about? At its core, Stoicism is about four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's break these down. First, we have wisdom. This isn't just about being smart or knowing a lot of facts. It's about understanding the world around us, our place in it, and how best to navigate life. It's about making good decisions, being discerning, and recognizing what's truly important. Next, we have courage. But this isn't just physical bravery, it's also moral courage. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult or unpopular. It's about facing adversity head-on and not being swayed by fear or discomfort. Then there's justice. This is about fairness, treating others with respect and kindness, and standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves. It's about recognizing the inherent worth of all people and striving to create a more just world. Lastly, we have temperance. This is about self-control, moderation, and balance. It's about not being swayed by our desires or impulses, but instead making thoughtful, deliberate choices. These four virtues are the foundation of Stoic thought. They guide how we should think, act, and live. But Stoicism is about more than just these virtues. It's also about understanding and accepting the nature of the universe. Stoics believe that the universe is governed by rational principles and that everything happens for a reason. This doesn't mean that everything is predetermined or that we have no free will. Rather, it means that there is a natural order to things and that we should strive to align ourselves with this order. This brings us to one of the most fundamental aspects of Stoicism: acceptance. Stoics believe that we should accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This doesn't mean being passive or resigned. It's about understanding that there are some things we can control and some things we can't. We can control our thoughts, our actions, our responses. We can't control the weather, the actions of others, or the inevitable passage of time. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. It's about understanding that our happiness and peace of mind come not from external circumstances, but from our internal state. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to whatever life throws at us. So that's Stoicism in a nutshell. It's a practical philosophy, grounded in the real world. It's about striving to be the best person we can be, living in harmony with the universe and finding peace and acceptance. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Now that we understand the principles of Stoicism, how does it relate to our opening question about life and happiness? At its core, Stoicism proposes a unique perspective on happiness, one that is starkly different from many modern views. Stoics believe that the pursuit of happiness should not be tied to external circumstances or material possessions. Instead, they argue that true happiness stems from virtue and living in accordance with nature. From a Stoic's viewpoint, happiness is a byproduct of virtue. But what does that mean? Well, it's quite simple. Virtue, for the Stoics, is living in accordance with reason and doing what is morally right, regardless of the circumstances. It's about exhibiting wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control in all aspects of life. When we practice virtue, we align ourselves with the fundamental order of the universe, and in doing so, we find true contentment. Now let's talk about living in accordance with nature. This might sound a bit vague or even mystical, but in the context of Stoicism, it's quite logical. Stoics believe that everything in the universe follows a rational and predictable pattern, a natural order, if you will. To live in accordance with nature, then, means to accept this order and live in harmony with it. It's about understanding our place in the bigger picture and embracing the fact that many things are beyond our control. When we live in accordance with nature and practice virtue, we cultivate an inner tranquility, a state of mind that is not easily disturbed by external events. This, according to the Stoics, is the path to true happiness. But it's important to remember, this does not mean that Stoics advocate for a life devoid of emotions or pleasures. Rather, they encourage us to enjoy the good things in life without becoming overly attached to them, and to face adversity with equanimity. In the eyes of a Stoic, true happiness comes from within, not from the world around us. And perhaps in our fast-paced, always-on, consumer-driven society, there's something we can all learn from this ancient philosophy. Despite its ancient roots, Stoicism remains relevant in the modern world. When we talk about Stoicism, we don't mean the stiff upper lip or the emotionless demeanor often associated with the term. Instead, we're referring to a philosophy of life, a way of navigating our existence that has endured for more than 2 millennia. In the hustle and bustle of our modern life, the principles of Stoicism provide a stable grounding. They help us to rise above the noise, to discern what truly matters amidst the constant stream of information and distractions. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of the things we cannot, a lesson that's as applicable in the age of social media and 24/7 news cycles as it was in the time of ancient Greece and Rome. Modern Stoic thinkers, such as William B. Irvine and Massimo Pigliucci, have taken these ancient ideas and translated them for our contemporary world. They've shown us how Stoicism can guide us in managing stress, making ethical choices, and finding contentment. These teachings have also found their way into psychology and self-help, influencing therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy. The Stoic principle of changing our perceptions to change our emotional reactions is at the heart of these therapeutic approaches. In essence, Stoicism is about cultivating inner peace and resilience, about building a life not easily shaken by external circumstances. It's about understanding that happiness is not found in the material world or the approval of others, but within ourselves, in our ability to live in accordance with nature and reason. The Stoic practice of daily reflection, of considering our actions and their alignment with our values, has a timeless appeal. It invites us to pause, to step back from the relentless pace of modern life, and to ask ourselves what truly matters. Stoicism, though ancient, continues to provide valuable insights for living a good life. It's a philosophy not just for times of peace and prosperity, but for all seasons of life, offering guidance and wisdom in the face of both triumphs and trials. So, how can we live more stoically and potentially find the happiness we seek? Living stoically isn't about denying feelings or adopting a life of asceticism. Instead, it's about understanding the nature of life, accepting what we can't change and focusing on what we can control. Here are some practical ways to integrate Stoicism into everyday life. Firstly, let's talk about perception. Stoicism teaches us that our perception of situations, not the situations themselves, cause distress. We can't control the world around us, but we can control how we perceive it. So next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, try reframing it. Instead of seeing it as a problem, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Secondly, let's consider the power of acceptance. Stoics believe that many things in life are beyond our control. By accepting this, we can avoid unnecessary stress and anxiety. Remember, it's not about being passive, but about understanding what you can change and what you can't. Another Stoic principle is to practice mindfulness. Stoicism encourages us to live in the present moment and not to worry about the past or future. So, take a moment to pause, breathe, and fully engage with the here and now. Moreover, Stoicism values virtue above all else. It's about living a life of integrity, kindness, and wisdom, regardless of external circumstances. Ask yourself regularly, am I living according to my values? This self-reflection can guide you towards more fulfilling decisions. The principle of self-sufficiency is also essential in Stoicism. Believe in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. Stoics see each challenge as a chance to strengthen their character and resilience. Lastly, embrace the practice of negative visualization. It's a technique where you imagine worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have and prepare for potential setbacks. It's not about being pessimistic, but about building resilience and gratitude. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds like a lot to take in. But remember, Stoicism is not about sudden transformation, it's about gradual growth. Start small, maybe with practicing mindfulness or reframing a challenging situation. Over time, these small changes can lead to a significant shift in mindset. Adopting a Stoic mindset can lead to a more fulfilling and peaceful life. It can help you navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. It encourages self-improvement, fosters inner peace, and promotes a deep sense of fulfillment. Stoicism isn't about eliminating emotions or living a life devoid of joy. It's about finding joy in the simple things, appreciating what we have, and not being swayed by external circumstances. It's about understanding that happiness comes from within, not from what we have or what happens to us. Stoicism teaches us to seek happiness not in the world around us but within ourselves. It's a philosophy not just for understanding the world but for living in it.